G'day everyone, it's Jay and welcome back to Derriere Farms, where we are going to take a look or a map tour of Westbridge Hills 22, which was, the original version was one of my favorite maps of all time for Farming Simulator. There have been a couple of, well, each version of the game seems to have had a new version come out, updated, of course, for each version of the game. But let me tell you, this is probably, actually it is by far the best version of Westbridge Hills that has come out for the Farming Simulator franchise since it was released with Farming Simulator 13. It really takes advantage of everything Farming Simulator 22 has to offer, and the modder has done a fantastic job. Now, before I go any further, a couple of housekeeping items. I did my initial recording of the video yesterday. I edited it, and I went to upload it today, and I found out that Westbridge Hills 22 was no longer available on ModHub. For some reason, Giants has taken it down. So I hit cancel, I hit delete once it was uploaded, and I deleted my initial map tour of Westbridge Hills because my thought was, what's the point of doing a map tour for a map that's no longer available? But then I got thinking, this isn't the first time we've seen a map get put up on ModHub and then taken down and then put back up later on. Usually there is something that people have reported as a glitch that makes Giants take the map down, makes the modder fix it, and then puts the mod back up. Now, if it's something else, or there's another reason it was taken down off ModHub, I hope the modder will upload it somewhere else if he hasn't already. And if it doesn't go back up on ModHub, check back, as I will provide a link to an alternate download site. Sometimes modders put it on their own site for download. So fingers crossed this is back in one way or another, because it is a fantastic map. Second bit of housekeeping, and I don't know what caused this. When I did my initial map tour, the load-in point was at the vehicle shop, where, and I'll show you in a minute, where the pickup truck's located. When I loaded in today to re-record my map tour, I spawned in at the house, which is where the sleep trigger is and is the natural spawning point. Obviously, there's been no update as it's not on ModHub, so something has changed. I don't know what. I double-checked a couple of times, and sure enough, I keep spawning in now at the house. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something. I don't know. Now, a little bit of background on my attachment to this map. I first played this in Farming Simulator 13, and it was the first map that Giants released that I felt truly had a North American feel to it, and it captured the feeling of big American farming. And I was addicted. I played hours and hours and hours on this. It was also at the point where Giants was starting to improve their physics engines, so the rolling hills really affected the performance of the tractors, and the more I played it, the more I got into it. Like I said, there have been a couple of re-releases of this map since Farming Simulator 13, And I've checked them all out. Most of them were by the same modder. This is by a different modder. And the question I always ask myself when I'm playing a map that has been remade is, do I still feel the same way about it as I did the original map when it first came out? And like I said earlier, this is the first version of Westbridge Hills that I have felt as excited about now as I did when it came out. It, like I said, it captures the feel of the original map, and with the updated graphics engines for Farming Simulator 22 and everything else that Farming Simulator 22 adds, in my opinion, this is even better than Farming Simulator 13. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the map tour. As I said, you spawn, in this case, at the house. You probably recognize the house. I thought it was the original house from Farming Simulator 13, just redone, but no, it's the American house. He's just retextured it so it is reminiscent of the house in Farming Simulator 13. You also start with quite a nasty drop if you're roaming from your house to your farm. Something a little bit of landscaping will definitely fix. You start out with a sheep pen with sheep in it. I'm a little bit curious about that because there's not a lot of area where you have to mow grass. You also start out with a couple of chickens. Neither the chicken pen nor the sheep pen are full. And, well, let's take a look at the land you start out with first, and I'll explain a little bit more why. Chickens I'm going to keep. The sheep I'm not sure about. You start out with field 15, which is a field of wheat. Even though it's not lined or fertilized like most starting map, or most maps when you start out with, I'm sure it's going to provide me with enough grain to keep the chickens going throughout the year, and the eggs will help make a profit. While we're looking at the map, as you can see, it's very reminiscent of the 13 version in terms of field layouts and sizes. Field prices. Come on, they range from 70,000 for field number 6 all the way up to field 9, which is 1.3 million, field 13, which is 1.2 million, field 18, which is 1.2. So you have quite a good selection of fields to grow your farm with steadily. And let's face it, field 16 is no slouch. We'll take a look at that in a minute. I also love what he's done with the barns. Everything had that old red barn feel to it in Farming Simulator 13. And he has captured that nicely with this map. Even though he has used updated buildings, you can see that the Rudolph Holman buildings from Farming Simulator 22, they feel the part. And we'll go through the equipment you start with in a minute as well, because you start with a lot of equipment. Again, the barn looks and feels like the original red barn did in the original version of the game. However, it is, and I don't know if he's included the basement. Yes, he's included the basement. It's the barn you start with on Elm Creek. You also start with the Unia silos, which give you quite a bit of storage capacity. I think it's the Unia 400, and then he's got 2 additional silo extensions beside it. So, okay, yeah, it's the Farmer 400 OB 1000. It's not the 800 I thought it was, but it gives you quite a bit of storage space. In addition to the grain silo, you also start out with 3 silos over here for liquid fertilizer, solid fertilizer, and seeds. And those are easy enough to fill. And another large shed just packed with equipment. As you can see, you've got a nice big combine. You've got a 435 horsepower tractor. What most maps don't come with is a fertilizer spreader or a sprayer. They normally just give you the cultivation and harvesting equipment. So, while we're on that topic, let's take a look and see exactly what this map does come with in terms of equipment. It comes with a case, Maxim, Massey Ferguson 4710 in small tractors, and neither one of which is slouches. They have a decent amount of horsepower. You have the Magnum 400 at 435 horsepower, so that's going to do your field work for you. This is really nice. Instead of just a trailer, you come with a truck and a trailer. The Harvester is a good one. It's a good size with a 45-foot header. It's the 9250 case axle flow. Don't know why he included that mower, but better than nothing. A forklift, again, that's a nice touch. Most maps don't come with that. Stone picker. I will be turning stones off so I can sell that. A large-ish cultivator. A huge seeder. Like I said, a fertilizer spreader, a sprayer. A front and rear mower that's capable of either doing wide swathing or windrowing. When we get some grass fields, that'll be really nice. A windrower. A good-sized forage wagon at 46,000 liters. An animal transport trailer, and of course a front loader, attachments. And would any farm be complete without the Thunder Creek fuel trailer? No, it wouldn't. So you get probably one of the largest arrays of equipment I've seen on a map so far. So that means you can focus on growing your farm and doing contracts as opposed to worrying about equipment. And speaking of contracts, I had a quick look. The first 2 contracts that are offered are actually worth a fair amount of money. They're both cultivating. So you have the choice of either using your own cultivator or has quite a huge reduction, actually, of $4,337 for Field 9 by borrowing one. So I would probably, since I've got a big cultivator and I got a decent tractor, I'll probably use my own equipment. So that's nice. As I said, here are the chickens. They definitely need some food. They have a little bit, but not much. And there are your sheep. Like I said, chickens I'll keep because there's only 50 of them for now, and I know that field we're going to get enough wheat off of it. I think it's wheat. We'll double check in a second. To feed them for the year and actually make some money off eggs. The sheep, I don't know whether to sell or to keep. It depends on whether I can find, without having to buy, a decent source of, well, I guess there's a little bit of grass around here that can be harvested. I just don't know if it's going to be enough to keep the sheep fed. So here is the field we start off with. True to the original. It's a big field. It is almost 10 acres. However, it needs lime, it needs plowing, and it doesn't look like it has any fertilization either. So we're not going to get a huge crop off. Hopefully enough to feed our chickens, like I said, and have a little bit left over to sell to make some money. But boy, oh boy, like I said, it brings back so many memories right now. Oh, and there's the road. It brings back so many memories. And that's just looking around the main farm itself. Let's hop over to the vehicle dealership. This again is very true and reminiscent of what came. Oh, and look at that red barn over there with the farmhouse. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. I wasn't sure whether you own this truck or not, but we do. And I like the fact that it's dirty and not perfectly clean. And just like in the original, you can actually go into the dealership. Although the equipment is 3D cutouts. Nonetheless. This is also where you find your first collectible. And I like the pictures of the original. Well, actually, he's got pictures of original tractors and newer tractors. There's another collectible just over there. So it's nice that he's included collectibles. Right. Let's drive around the map and see what we can find. As we start off, as you can see, he's even kept the dealership pretty much the same with the ramps in and out. I do remember in Farming Simulator 13 having problems getting bigger equipment up and down these ramps. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue this time. The rolling hills, definitely kept. Traffic is nice, and he's done a really good job with the texturing of the roads. They were just dirt roads in Farming Simulator 13, and they look a little bit better. I want to go down here, and then alright, we'll look at that in a minute, but if you look at the top left of the screen, the drive-in theater is still where it's supposed to be. I was going to load up the original, like I said, I was going to load up the original and do a comparison, but I don't know. I'm quite happy just driving around this map and having the memories do everything for me. There's the train station. And I can't remember, was this the first map or one of the first maps to have trains? It's been so long since I've played some of the original maps that I don't remember. Alright, I'll see you in town. Just looking at this house, it's hard to tell at a distance whether it was from an earlier version of the game or whether it was something from Farming Simulator 22. When you get up close, you see it doesn't include parallax occlusion mapping, but it definitely fits apart, and at a distance you don't know that it's one of the original houses. There's Grayson's garage, and he's got a tractor and trailer in there. Unfortunately, it's not drivable. sure I come to a stop. The grocery mart. I like the way he's laid it out in the parking lot. Oh, what's wrong? Sorry, my daughter had a question, but it was nothing. There's a town hall. Oh, yes, the memories. We have the laundromat. The fire department. I like the fact that he's used this one as the farmer's market. Everybody uses the farmer's market from Elm Creek, and he's used the other farmer's market, which has a nice rustic feel to it. Not that there's anything wrong with, I think it's Miller's Farmer's Market. But the town definitely has a nice feel to it. I don't know if these sheds are usable. I didn't get into this part when I was... No, they're not. When I did my initial map tour. My initial map tour was actually quite brief. Oh my goodness, they just keep cutting me off. So the town definitely has a nice feel to it. The baseball diamond, he's renamed it, and it looks the part. That's the baseball diamond from Elm Creek. Okay, so there's two farmers markets. He did, sorry, it's Johnson's Farmers Market. That's what I was thinking of. And up here, we have the milling group. Be a little bit of a tight turn getting a tractor trailer in there. But it's doable. Definitely doable. There's the farmer's market. The livestock market beside us. I really do like the attention to detail he's paid to placing new objects from the new version of the game, and they still feel the part. To me, that's fantastic. Alright, to speed things up a little bit, let's take a skip through a couple more of the production sell points. Here we have the grain export. Got the railroad loading facility to it. I'm trying to think what facility that is that he's used there, but it's definitely from 22. So I don't see a purchase trigger, but over here, does this indicate anything? He's got either a production point, so I'm not sure if the grain exporter. Let's have a look at the factories. I didn't look at that the other day. You have no, well, I didn't see a buy trigger anywhere, so I don't think you can buy this one. So what this is here for, I'm not sure. Let's go on foot. Down here you have a way station as you come into the sugar mill. You've got the oil factory. You've got the grape processing facility. How much do these cost? They cost about the same as the base game, so the cereal factory. He's pretty much included, just as an FYI, every production facility you need in the game. We'll take a skip down here. You've got the spinnery. And I can tell by the windows that is a retextured version of a house from Farming Simulator 22. Oh, there's another collectible here. They're definitely not hard to find. I like that building. Definitely like it. So you have Feeding Grain South. You have a carpentry and your lime station down here. There's Feeding Grain South. Like I said, as you look around, you still have that feeling from the original map. He's really done a good job of capturing it. There's a couple of water towers around. And the other thing too, I don't remember what it looked like in the original, but the background or the far textures, he's definitely added new ones, and it gives that really nice feel to the map. It doesn't look like some of the maps that you see get converted and they use the original backgrounds and they just look kind of washed out and faded. This fits into the map. Alright, moving on. Let's go to the next production facility. And here we come. Oh, this one isn't a production facility, but it's the cow barn. Nice big field of grass next to it. And it's nicely laid out. It's got a silage clamp. It's got a small barn with a silo, as well as having that modern cow barn from Farming Simulator 22. And I think it'll let us add. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess any. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to save the game. Yep, it'll let me buy cows, even though I don't own, as you can see, don't own the cow farm. So that's nice. I can see the BGA in the distance. Again, he's mixed in the buildings here very nicely, so you get that new and that old feel to it. Obviously, the main part of the BGA is Farming Simulator 22 all over it. But until you get up very close, you don't notice that that small building is not from Farming Simulator 22. Alright, let's continue down the path a little bit and we'll see. Take a look at the sawmill. American Parcel Logistics, nicely done. I really have to, and I said in another video, I really want to get into learning how to do some modding myself. And a map like this definitely inspired me. He's got all these nice tractors parked all over the place with placeables on them. Unfortunately, as you can see, they are decorative only and you can't actually get in them. Although you can hop on the roof and collect collectible. But I think the extra tractors and the combines that he's parked around just add that extra touch to the map. Yeah, let me out. Let me out. The debris crusher, nicely done. I mean, sorry. When I say nicely done, instead of just putting the debris crusher in an open area, he's actually made it feel like it's a working debris crusher with pieces of equipment and big piles of stone around. There's the biogas heating, not biomass, not biogas heating plant. Miller's sawmill. This is definitely worth taking a look at. It's nicely laid out, and you've got a decent supply of lumber around it. What does it cost? Well, it's not, well, it's expensive because you buy a lot of the outside edge of the map. But you definitely, having that forestry area so close to the sawmill is definitely nice. If you've ever wondered why you haven't seen me do logging in any of my videos, it's because I use a mouse and a keyboard and I have a really hard time controlling the logging equipment. I need to upgrade my equipment. That will come in time. Alright. Okay, and just over to the right, across this nice barren field that I'm going to barrel across, it looks like it's been planted actually. Is the dairy. And I do like the way he's laid out the dairy. Instead of just using the original or the main dairy building, he's done a little bit more to it. I'm not sure about these way stations because they annoy me. If anyone remembers these were the original milk trucks from way back when. And they don't actually look too out of place. Oh, if anyone hasn't noticed yet, the license plates on vehicles pay homage to the original map, FS 2013, which is a nice little touch. Okay, how can I get, well, there, rather than drive all the way around, we'll just drive across the grass, and there is the drive-in theater that was with the original game, or the original map. Jet Set Farming, the rise of harvesting for running out of taters. I always liked the drive-in in the original map. It was a nice touch. So If we look at the big map here, he's added the drive-in theater. He's added the baseball diamond. And the town. And he's done it in such a way that it stays true to the original map, but it doesn't take up a huge amount of space. In some ways, I wish Giants would go back to this style of map. I like Elm Creek. It's probably one of my favorite maps in Farming Simulator 22 base game. But they take up so much space with their decorations that you don't have a ton of these big fields like you have here. If that makes sense. This, like I said, this is one of the things that attracted me to this map when it first came out, was you had big fields. And then as Farming Simulator moved along, Giants started to add more and more decorative features. Not just small things like the drive-in or the baseball diamond, but you now have these big castles up on a hill which take up a large chunk of the map. To me, Elm Creek, you've got the nature preserve on the north side of the map. Yes, it's beautiful. Do I go there? No. I went there for my initial look, but there's no... and I collected the collectibles, and I haven't been back since. And then there's all that wasted land around it that to me should be farming fields. And that's what this map has. It has farming fields all around it. Yes, it's got the decorations. It's got a little bit of... very small compared to the other maps. Like, this is... I'm not going to call it wasted space, but it's decorative space. Could it have been turned into farmland? Sure. But this map had, to me, the perfect balance between decoration and farmland. And that's one of the things I really, really like about Calmsden Farms. Or Clamsden, as I think Clutch called it. Calmsden Farms. He did a really good job with that map of balancing a real-life part of Great Britain, kept the field sizes good, but also managed to capture the feel and layout of the stores, hedgerows, the narrow roads, without wasting, and the village itself, without wasting too much space. So, I mean, Calmsden, although a very small area in real life, has a lot of farmland, just like this map does. Without actually opening up Giant's editor and measuring, I am willing to bet you that this farm has quite a few more acres of arable land than Elm Creek does. And definitely more than Aubé-Laurent, or, and I don't know. Like, I like Erlingrat, it's a beautiful map, but it's got so much wasted space. Well, here we are, back at Clever Motors. That pretty much concludes our map tour. Like I said, I really hope this map has been taken down because of a technical bug and will be put up again fairly soon. Final thoughts? Like I said, I've I won't say I've reviewed because I only just started my channel a little while ago, but I have played or explored the various itinerations of this map that came out after Farming Simulator 13, and they don't hold a candle to it. And that's always one of the questions I ask myself when I'm going to play a map is, does it bring back the nostalgia and the feel that the original one did? And yes, this does. The remakes, no offense to the modder, but they didn't give the feel that this map gives. And it definitely brings back the feel and excitement to Westbridge Hills, and I will definitely be playing on this map. If you want me to do a Let's Play series on this map, sound off in the comments. Otherwise, I'm quite happy continuing to make, I'm not going to edit that out, just continuing to make technical videos regarding the game mechanics. But I will personally be playing this map, and I am more than willing to share my playtime if you guys are interested. So, sound off in the comments what you guys think of this map. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe. The channel is growing. The more subscribers we get, the more I can do in terms of giveaways and build the community. In the meantime, thank you for watching and have a great weekend.